Welcome at Pizza and More. This time we stay in the south of Italy, but we will be far away from a traditional Neapolitan pizza. I'm Jürgen and we make this time Sfincione, which is a Sicilian pizza. The Sicilian Pizza Sfincione has a crust, has a bottom like Focaccia. Even though the toppings of this pizza can vary from region on Sicily to region on Sicily, the crust, the bottom, the dough stays always or most of the times exactly the same. And this is the dough we will make together. These kind of pizzas are baked in a pan, in a pizza pan or even on a baking tray with lots of olive oil. This one here, by the way, is such a baking pan for Sicilian pizza. The cheese we normally use is Caciocavallo, but the Caciocavallo is really very difficult to get here, so therefore you also could use a mild Provolone or even in the last alternative Mozzarella. Also the sauce of this pizza is totally different. We use in the first instance lots of onions, which are cut into slices. These onions are fried. Then we add the tomato sauce, we add some herbs, but don't worry, we will make the pizza sauce together. On Sicily, this kind of pizza is very often eaten as street food. So at each corner in Palermo, for example, you can find a shop which is selling this pizza. By the way, all toppings we need, all the ingredients and the whole procedure, the whole instructions are as always in the video description. I decided we make a dough with 65% hydration. We make a direct dough. Such a dough could also made easily with 70 or 75% of hydration, but I thought let's make again 65% because then everybody is able to copy this pizza, because 65% is not too difficult to work. And the total leavening time of the dough will be 48 hours. And exactly with this dough we start right now. The ingredients we need for our dough of the Sfincione, of one Sfincione, are 350 grams of flour. I have here Typo 0 flour with 13% of protein. 150 grams of Semolina, 325 very cold water, which leads then to a hydration of 65%, 30 grams of olive oil, 15 grams of fine sea salt, and 3.5 grams of fresh yeast. To make the dough, we pour at first the water into our mixer, then we add the flour, and of course the semolina, and now we add the yeast, and then we start mixing for around 5 minutes. And now after the first 5 minutes we add the salt. And then we continue kneading for again 5 minutes. And then after again 5 minutes we add the olive oil. And then we continue kneading until we are able to make the window test. As you can see, I already have the dough here on my counter. Now I show you that the window test works. The total kneading time was good 20 to 25 minutes, but you can see here this dough is super elastic. The gluten structure is absolutely strong. You can see how it works with this window test is really great. The dough is ready. What I have to do right now is I shape a nice dough ball. Therefore I take the dough from the left and from the right, put it back to the counter, stretch it and fold it over. And then I do this several times. Yeah, and if we do this several times, we can already see how strong the surface of this dough is. Yeah, and then if the dough ball is nice, then we take a dough ball box and we put it into this container. Then of course we have to close the lid, and then we let the dough rise at room temperature for around 1 to 2 hours, and then we put it into the fridge. As I said, the total leavening time will be 48 hours, and round about 4 hours before baking, I take the dough out of the fridge. In the meanwhile, while the dough is in its leavening time, we can prepare some different toppings. We have to prepare the tomato sauce, and of course we also have to prepare some breadcrumbs, and exactly with those breadcrumbs we start. And for the breadcrumbs, we have here total normal breadcrumbs, and we put them into a pan, and these are 40 grams. And now we have to add enough olive oil. And now we have to roast them. If the breadcrumbs are roasted, we take them out of the pan, we cool them down, and as soon they are cool, we mix them with round about 50 to 100 grams of fresh grated Pecorino, or if you have no Pecorino, then you also could use Parmesan or Grana Padano. And now we continue with the tomato sauce. For the tomato sauce we need sliced onions. These are 300 to 400 grams of onions. Then we add 50 grams of water. And we have to add lots of olive oil. And at a medium heat, we cook it for around 15 minutes. After 15 minutes in the pan, the onions look like this. I already switched off the oven, and now I add 400 grams of tomatoes. Okay, and now the tomato sauce is almost done. Now we have to add some herbs. At first some oregano, then fresh grated black pepper, and salt. Most of the toppings are now prepared, and we have now round about 30 minutes before we start baking the pizza. Which means I have to take now the dough out of the box, put it into the pizza pan, and there we bring it into the shape, and then we let it rest again for 30 minutes. And now we have to add into the pizza pan enough olive oil. Here it's really better to have more oil instead of less, because at the end our pizza should, let's say, fry in this oil in the pan. And then we brush the oil so that we have really everything covered. And here you can see the dough. You see it went up like an air balloon. And now we have to be a bit careful to take it out. Also here I would recommend olive oil. And as you see, this dough is like focaccia, and only with our fingers we press the dough into shape. And here it's absolutely important to have also on top enough olive oil. And now we let the dough, like it is right now, rest for 30 minutes. I preheated the oven in the meanwhile to 200 degrees Celsius, upper and lower heat, so both-sided heat. And we are now prepared to start with the pizza. To the roasted breadcrumb from earlier, I want to say I added here already 80 grams of fresh grated Pecorino cheese. And here I have some filets from anchovies, and I smash them a bit with a spoon, and they will be now at first distributed on the pizza. Especially with the anchovies, please add as much as you want. I like it to be a bit more careful with the anchovies. The next we add is our cheese. I have here, fortunately, really Caciocavallo. And now we add our tomatoes with the onions. And now we add our toasted breadcrumbs with the Pecorino cheese. Then some oregano. And at the end, again, a bit of olive oil. And then the pizza is ready for the oven. And then we put the pizza into the oven on one of the middle rails. And now we bake the pizza for around 20 to 30 minutes. And now the pizza is done and is removed out of the oven. And here comes our pizza. And now I recommend not to cut the pizza in this pan, but to take it out onto this wooden peel. And now I can show you also how fantastic the crust looks like. And of course, I'm allowed to taste something from this nice pizza. Yeah, and also this kind of pizza tastes absolutely fantastic. Of course, it tastes totally different than a Neapolitan style or a Roman style. But of course, it's a Sicilian pizza, so it's absolutely clear that it tastes different. If you like my video, it would be fantastic if you would subscribe my channel, and then we see us also in the next video. Ciao!